Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to The Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. It's live and recorded, and Bitcoin hit 35,000. You guys believe that? How crazy of a ride was it yesterday? All right, so we have right now Bitcoin is around 34.5, but I'm wondering if it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. That's kind of what I'm gearing up towards. I feel like next month, usually around Black Friday, we do see a heavy pullback, usually because people are out Christmas shopping or whatever the case may be. It's just the holidays. People sell a lot during that time. So I don't know. This is October, so I guess we have a little bit more to be expected. So let's see what we're looking like in the market real quick after we say hello to everybody in the chat. Mr. DJ Mines, good to see you, buddy. Andrew Masad, Patrick Murphy, Dumpster Fires here, All Set Miner. Let's see. Who else? Nick K, Leo Lustig, my man, Steven Cicero, as always. CJ Vic, what's up, buddy? I need money, he says. Power Minds Crypto, what's up, buddy? Hunter, good to see you as well. And Rob Mines, if anybody else is here and I missed you, I apologize. All right, let's get into this. I want to see what everything's looking like today. As you can see, Bitcoin 34,516, Ethereum 1,836. That's very nice to see. It's nice to see these both. It's nice to see this whole thing in deep green. Like, look at this. That's crazy. Just crazy. Bitcoin's almost 7 cents. It's 7, right? Over 6.5, which is awesome. LTC over $70 by a little bit, right? 70.22. We have Solana $31. Still kicking myself in the ass for that. XRP 55 cents. What else is here? You know what? Caspa's in the top 100. What's that at? 5.2. I think Caspa hit a new all-time high yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. We can double check that, obviously, but other than that, man, shit is just going wild today. Absolutely wild. All right, top, let's see over here, crypto bubbles. This is the top 100 coins, obviously. I don't know what this is. Mina, 110%. What the hell is this coin? This is Mina. This is new, ranked 49. I don't think I've seen this one before. I wonder if that's in a new position. Interesting. Everything's up though. Like, look how small this bubble is at 26.2%. Look at Pepe, 31%. InGen 22. Conflux over here at 40.6. Jeez, that's had a huge run up. That's awesome. Ethereum 9.6, like I said. Let's see. Leo Lustig, nice. BT Miners gave me a full refund. Hell yeah, screw them. They suck. Anyways. All right, let's check out Crypto Fear and Greed Index. This is very surprising, right? We are seeing 66, which is greed. Usually when this chart starts to get greedy, time to be fearful. That's typically how it goes, but like this is still in the kind of neutral territory, right? Anything from like 70 to like 30 to me is neutral. It's not really scary or whatever. When it gets really high pinging or really low pinging, that's when you want to do the opposite, right? If it's way down in the fear section, right, or extreme fear, whatever they like to call it, under 30, that's the time to buy typically. And then when it's over whatever 70, that's usually the time to start thinking about selling. Just my opinion. You guys take that as you will. All right, top 10 coins of coin market cap: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB. We have XRP, USDC, Lido staked, Ether, Solana, Cardano, and Dogecoin. Let's see, Litecoin back up to 17th, Shiba still in 19th, Bitcoin Cash is in 18th. Nice. All right, let's check out now, again, as we are mainly a crypto mining channel, let's check out these crypto miners to see which one's the most profitable of the day. As always, the Caspa KS3 making $125 a day. I think that moved up like $4 since yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Looking at the KS1, $12 a day. Let's see, Ice River KS2, $25 a day. Damn, those are, I mean, you know what? I've been really thinking about, like, should I buy one of these? And I honestly don't think the answer is yes. I think just buying the Casp was a way smarter idea, to be honest. That's just me. You guys let me know what you think about that in the chat. Jazzminer X16Q, $4.82. Not too bad. That is mining. What is that mining? Looks like ETHW and ZIL. Let's see. X4, 317. The X4Q mining Octaspace is still most profitable. So that's like a newish altcoin, right? $1.63 a day. Not too bad. All right, so let's get into this now. What I want to start with over here is Crypto World, CNBC television, right? This was yesterday, so keep in mind they're gonna say the top, like, Bitcoin's at 30,000, right? And it obviously we saw it hit 35. So this is just to grab the initial bulk of the news, and then we're gonna move on to a few other videos. And I have an actual somebody else from the SEC that I've personally never seen, It's one of those 5 other people that Gary Gensler likes to say that there's 5 of us. I can't make any one decision for all of us, right? Even though he has. It's just nice to see another face, right? And she seems oddly reluctant to say when the ETF's going to come out, even though it seems like she knows. It seems like she knows it's coming soon, so whatever. Anyways, let's get into this crypto world CNBC, and then we'll move on from there. If you guys have any questions, add me in the chat. Hit that like button if you wouldn't mind. Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin jumps back above $30,000. A crypto-friendly congressman vies for the House speakership, and Meyer Gupta of Kraken explains why the firm is turning to Formula One to bring new attention to NFTs.
Formula One. F NFTs. I hate NFTs. I don't know about you guys, but
welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Jordan Smith. Bitcoin prices in the green coming out of a weekend rally, jumping back above $30,000 by noon Eastern. Ether, meanwhile, jumped to $16.77, and Solana rose to $29. All right.
Hold on. Steven Cicero, my man, just sent me a link. Look at this. What? The Ice River KS0 Pro is coming out. 200 gigahashes, 90 watts. What? So the upgrade that I just did to my KS0, I can only get to 120, but you can push them to 160, and they're definitely over 90 watts for sure. So they're gonna charge you out the ass for this. And honestly, I love mining. I love crypto mining. I love low wattage miners, but I really do feel like just buying CASP is a smarter idea. I don't think buying into this shit is really too smart, even though unless you can get it for like a cheap price. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about the top stories. The House of Representatives is still looking for the next speaker, and a crypto-friendly congressman is putting his name forward. NBC News reports that Representative Tom Emmer of Minnesota, the #3 Republican in leadership, has officially launched his bid for Speaker after the House Republican caucus failed to elect Jim Jordan. Emmer even got an endorsement from former Speaker Kevin McCarthy. He's positioned himself as a crypto ally, drafting several bills to boost regulation for the industry, including back in September with a CBDC anti-surveillance proposal. Now, Emmer is jumping into a crowded field of other Republicans vying for the position, but it's still unclear if any of them have the 217 votes needed to win this.
If you guys don't know, Emmer's a savage. He's the one that ripped Gary Gensler apart, so he is definitely pro-crypto, and that's not a bad thing for him to be there.
Speakership. Next, WorldCoin, the crypto project launched by OpenAI's Sam Altman, is shifting the way it pays operators of its iris scanning orbs. The platform announced in a post that operator rewards, which were originally paid with the USDC stablecoin, will now be paid in world tokens starting in November.
Oh, what a bunch of scumbags. What a bunch of scumbags. Sorry to cut that off, but what the hell? They were paying, hold on. The entire thing about this was like, let's scan your eye. We're going to pay you X amount. Like people in third world countries able to sell this USDC because they were paying them a couple bucks, whatever it was, a week or I don't know, whatever, for the information for them to scan their eye. Now that they're taking that away, wow, that's like a rug pull in itself. That's kind of a dick move.
Same tokens paid to users who verify their identity and receive the virtual passport in certain parts of the world. WorldCoin said in the post that the World Token launched with a relatively low circulating supply. That let them draw new users onto the platform by offering World Tokens in return for signups. This new rewards process for operators will help boost circulating supply for the network. All right, let's talk about the crypto exchange Kraken for our main story. The company is launching its first retail user-focused ad campaign and partnering with Formula One team Williams Racing to boost attention to NFTs. Crypto World's Tanea McKeel spoke to Kraken's chief marketing officer about how the company is driving new focus to the industry during the current downturn.
Kraken's awesome.
Kraken has a few different initiatives right now. I want to start with this new consumer-focused ad campaign focusing on what crypto can be. It's actually your first consumer campaign, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously we've come a long way from the lows of 2022, but it's still, after the first quarter of this.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I want to listen to this. This is just talking about an ad campaign for Formula One and Kraken. I love Kraken. They're a sick exchange, but I don't think that's worth watching, to be honest. I'd rather get to the meat and potatoes of this right here. The SEC Commissioner Pierce, if that's her name, it says the logic for why we haven't approved a Bitcoin ETF has always mystified me. And that's crazy because that's exactly what she says. She is stunned that they haven't approved an ETF already, which is half the reason this is, we probably had this giant run up yesterday. Because if you look, this was 21 hours ago. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much about the time Bitcoin started moving. started moving hard, and then it just went nuts again last night when people got home from work. We're like, oh shit, I'm missing the boat. Gotta jump in quick. Send the rescue boats. All right, let's get into this. If you guys have questions, at me in the chat.
Next guest, outspoken critic of some of her own agency's initiatives, join us to talk about crypto regulation, debates over ESG, and so much more. SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce. She is one of 2 Republicans among the 5 SEC commissioners. Good morning to you. Love to get your sense of where you think the state of some of these regulations around crypto really stand right now. There's been so much speculation, even in the past several weeks, about where a Bitcoin ETF might land. There was a moment, as you, I'm sure, recall, where a report came out, erroneously apparently, that one would be approved. That would be the BlackRock one. But a view that, given some of the things that have happened in court recently with the SEC losing, that maybe the SEC is now more open to approving one of these types of funds. Is it?
Real quick, again, she is one of the 5 in that collective group in the SEC that makes the decision.
Well, good morning, Andrew. And I can't say whether or not the commission is ready to approve a Bitcoin exchange-traded product. I've been thinking we should approve one for the last 5 years, so that the
last 5 years. For the last 5 years.
Logic for why we haven't has always mystified me. The court case obviously is an important factor in the landscape, but I can't guess as to my colleagues' approach to this topic.
But the reason I ask is there's a sort of a speculative fever taking place throughout Wall Street and other parts of the crypto world that believe that given those court results or those losses, if you will, or specifically that one loss, that it would change the thinking of the other commissioners at the SEC. You spend time with them, you talk to them. Do you see any shift in terms of that type of thinking, just even generally speaking?
I really can't speak to what we're going to do on the Bitcoin exchange-traded products. I can say that generally the agency has not been very good when it comes to anything related to Bitcoin or other crypto assets. And look, I hope that every day I hope that they'll wake up and they'll think, you know what, we need to take a more productive approach. That hasn't happened yet, but I'm, of course, hoping that it will.
But I guess the question is, should the public take anything away from the fact that a BlackRock or a Fidelity or somebody of that size, scale, perhaps reputation, is applying for these things, that somehow is validating this space in a way that perhaps maybe some of the smaller firms that had applied for such types of funds earlier did not?
Well, I think it's a reflection of the fact that there are a lot of firms that think the public is interested in these kinds of products. Again, you know, people have to be careful about trying to read the tea leaves of what agencies are doing, and I'm not going to contribute to that. I'm just going to say that, you know, obviously we're seeing more and more interest from firms in these products, and I hear.
Can I just say real quick? You guys see that beeping in the background, the fire alarm shit? No joke, right? In the morning when I'm getting ready, I got this shit playing on my counter, and I could hear it in the shower. That shit went off. I jumped out of the shower, fucking soaking wet, ran into my room because I thought my fire alarms were going off. I was like, are you kidding me right now? This is on the damn phone. Oh my God. That was like the worst awakening ever this morning.
A lot of interest from investors in these kinds of products as well.
What is the lesson? You know, we've all been watching this Sam Bankman-Fried trial that's taking place downtown around crypto, and we've watched now Coinbase has started to open up franchises and things in other countries and the like. Have you felt a shift in terms of the way Washington and your colleagues are thinking about crypto at all?
I mean, look, the events of last year were not positive for crypto's image, certainly. It's a good moment for all of us to sit down and think about how did we get to this place. And I think there's a lot of work the industry needs to do, and thinking about applying, you know, traditional lessons from traditional finance that have been learned the hard way over the years, applying those in the crypto space. But there's also an opportunity for regulators to sort of think, what could we have done differently? And I think one thing we could have done differently is to craft a framework that provided people clear guidelines and made the United States the kind of place where crypto companies wanted to be registered and based. And that would have been very helpful for then distinguishing good actors from bad actors. We still have the opportunity to do that. I think there is a lot of interest on the congressional side to try to do something around crypto. You know, again, my agency has mostly focused on bringing enforcement actions, which is just not a really efficient way of bringing regulatory clarity to the space.
Dude, where the hell was she the whole time? Like, where was she the whole time? Gary needed to let her out of the basement because that's some bullshit. She knows that it's wrong to just have enforcement actions against everybody, like, you know, kind of forcing everyone's hand to do this or that without clear guidelines. What the hell? Like, what? Oh, my God.
Do you have any sense that real legislation is going to be made? I mean, we've had a number of lawmakers come on the program, talk about legislation, this and that. But here we have a situation the House doesn't even have a speaker. And you think to yourself, and, you know, we've talked for a decade about regulating, you know, social media and all sorts of other things that no one, you know, a lot of people talk about, and then nothing ever really gets done. Do you have any reason to think that something will?
Well, I mean, I cautioned about reading regulatory tea leaves, and I'm careful about trying to read political tea leaves. But I would say that there is widening interest in trying to do something. And whether it's a broader bill or whether it's taking things piece by piece, I don't know. But I think there's clearly perceived to be a need to do something in this space. And I think that's really encouraging.
Someone in the chat, CJ Vic, just said, is she trying to position herself for a promotion? And you know what? I'd be happy if she was in his seat because Gary doesn't know what the F he's doing, clearly.
Has your view shifted at all? We have, by the way, on the screen, and I don't know if you can see it, we have Bitcoin, Ether, Solana, Ripple, and Dogecoin on the screen. You know, I think there's been some shift in thought around what cryptocurrency really is, which ones matter.
Real quick, looking at this, right? This list that they're showing here, okay? As you can see, like, you know, XRP just won that court case stuff. Solana, like I said, is integrating with Visa. Ether and Bitcoin, obviously top two, you know, by market cap. It's always going to be the case. Dogecoin, right? Dogecoin being on this list, to me, makes me truly believe. I said it like 2 years ago, or a year ago anyways, when Dogecoin and everything was starting to go down. I don't see a reason why Doge won't get back to its all-time high or even $1 at that point. Again, not financial advice, but look at the shit. Like, they always push Dogecoin for whatever reason. And it's just, man, you could buy a small amount of Dogecoin and have that moon bag just for later on if you're smart about it and you do sell it at the top. That's just my personal opinion on that.
Things like that. Have you sort of changed or shifted your views around that? Do you say to yourself, Bitcoin is one thing and that's in its own special camp, and maybe Ether's in another, and maybe these others are something else entirely?
Well, I think different crypto assets have been developed and different blockchains have been developed for different purposes. And that's something that people are doing a lot of experimentation with. So it's been interesting to me as a regulator, not a technologist, just to watch that experimentation, to watch different uses for the different blockchains emerge. And, you know, look, the market is going to ultimately decide whether any or all of these stay around. And, you know, we'll see how that develops. It'll be fun to watch, but there are different uses for the different blockchains.
But do you think some of them are just pure speculation? And if they are, do you think that they should be regulated? Meaning, part of the issue has been that I think there's been some real great skepticism inside the SEC and elsewhere that some of these things may be real, but others may not be at all. And if they are not at all, maybe there's no reason to be even trying to regulate them, because by regulating them, to some degree, you're endorsing what it is.
Well, look, I think people speculate about lots of different things, and especially in low interest rate environments, people speculate about lots of things. It's not my job as a regulator to tell people what they can and can't purchase and what they can and can't speculate about, right? Speculation is what makes our markets work. I encourage everyone to be skeptical about everything they're buying. And so, yeah, you should be asking, if you are interested in crypto and you're thinking of buying a crypto asset, you should be asking a lot of questions. You should be trying to figure out what the purpose of a particular crypto asset is, and that's fine. But the idea that by affording people a regulatory framework, we're providing a regulatory seal of approval is the wrong way to think about things. We at the SEC have a job to be disclosure regulators, and so if we're given the job to write disclosure regulations for crypto assets, that is not a seal of approval.
Shout out to CNBC for that and that lady, because that is absolutely fantastic, and I'm excited to see what comes in the next few weeks. I'm putting a poll in the chat as of right now. I'm saying, is this Bitcoin ETF a buy the rumor, sell the news event? I'm gonna say Bitcoin spot ETF, buy the rumor, sell the news event. I think it is, to be honest. Again, like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if they did approve this thing in the next couple weeks or the next week or so, and then we saw a quick pullback before Christmas time. That's just my opinion. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that in the chat. I just threw that in there. All right, let's get into Mr. Altcoin Daily's leaked BlackRock to launch Bitcoin ETF in October. So apparently I think they labeled, like, what was it, like the ticker or something? I don't know. We're gonna find out right now. But anyways, guys, hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and yeah, at me in the chat if you guys got any questions. Let's do it.
The crypto market continues to pump, with Bitcoin, the price, now above $31,000. And if you're asking why, as verified by the senior ETF analyst for Bloomberg, BlackRock has just amended their spot Bitcoin ETF for a possible seeding in October.
This rally is way beyond the rumor. I think the rally today is about a flight to quality, and I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality.
Let's dig into this, as well as the recent Bitcoin news, Chainlink news, and Solana news. But a big reason that more confidence is coming back into crypto is because Coinbase is poised to make their final pitch in a bid to kill the SEC accusations quickly. So the SEC is suing Coinbase for, among other things, offering unregistered securities. And the US crypto exchange is ready to argue that the SEC's claims about unregistered securities are missing evidence of actual contracts.
That happened yesterday? What?
And especially coming off of what we've just seen with Ripple and the SEC, the company, Coinbase, is said to be ready to underline two legal arguments. Number one, that the tokens being traded don't represent investment contracts and thus don't represent securities. The SEC just lost in court against Ripple on this, so I don't see any reason that Coinbase wouldn't win here. And two, that the SEC is violating the major questions doctrine that outlines the relationship between regulators and Congress, i.e. that the SEC has been overstepping their bounds. Michael Saylor's $4.7 billion Bitcoin bet is back in the green. MicroStrategy, the software company led by Saylor, began buying the crypto more than 3 years ago, and at the last check held more than 158,000 Bitcoins.
So you're buying?
Yeah, I'll be buying at the top forever.
And specifically, how much is MicroStrategy up? At the current price of $30,650, the Bitcoin bet is in the green by about $1,000 per coin for a total gain of roughly $160 million. And Michael Saylor has stated that he's not interested in selling, he's only interested in buying. And in the green right here, the dots, you can see every single time MicroStrategy made a purchase, a pretty solid DCA strategy.
Yeah, I'll be buying at the top forever.
And what is this BlackRock update, and how have they altered their ETF application? So
real quick, hit that like button, guys. If you guys hit that like button, we get 50 likes. Leo Lustig's going to give away 5 memberships. He stated in the chat. If you don't mind, I'd appreciate it. And it's not because he's going to gift those. I do want you guys just to hit that like button, get this information out there.
Two things caught my eye from the latest iShares BlackRock S1 amendment. Number one, they've obtained a CUSIP in prep for the launch. And two, they may be looking to seed with cash this month, which is earlier than I would have thought, but maybe nothing. And again, we see confirmation of this in the actual filing, talking about seeding, capital investor, talking about in October. And this was confirmed by the senior ETF analyst for Bloomberg, saying, BlackRock stating in the recent spot Bitcoin ETF amendment that they are seeding the ETF in October. Don't want to read that much into it, but this is new info, not in original filing, so noteworthy. especially.
Mr. Geek of all trades, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. You're amazing. We have, let's see who got it real quick. Automatic Beats, Ted, Black Sales, Will Wyman, and Nick K. Congrats, guys. Thank you for becoming members of the channel.
Because they BlackRock. And for the layman, what this means to you, seeding an ETF is when initial funding is provided, typically by a bank or broker-dealer used to purchase a few creation units, in this case Bitcoin, in exchange for ETF shares, which can be traded in open market on day one. Note, seeding is typically not a lot of money, just enough to get the ETF going, so I wouldn't read this as OMG, BlackRock is buying a ton of Bitcoin at all, but more the fact that they're doing it and disclosing it shows another step in the process of launching. And let's be real. Maybe I'm missing something, but every ETF is seeded. Yes, totally normal, but that's kind of the point. It happens when ETFs are preparing for launch. And what did SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce just say this morning?
So if any of you guys missed this, this is what we just watched. This is one of the 5 members of the SEC.
I can't say whether or not the commission is ready to approve a Bitcoin exchange traded product. I've been thinking we should approve one for the last 5 years. So the logic for why we haven't has always mystified me. The court case obviously is an important factor in the landscape, but I can't guess as to my colleagues' approach to this topic.
And Chainlink, why is it pumping? Because Chainlink leads the crypto market rally, soaring 8% overnight. And most of you were probably prepped for this. At least subscribers of Altcoin Daily knew this was a possibility. About a month ago, I put out this video. Most people don't realize how big Chainlink will be. And it explained in detail CCIP. Chainlink's impressive performance may be attributed to the growing popularity of its cross-chain interoperability protocol, CCIP, the recently launched tech stack upgrade aimed at simplifying cross-chain transactions. And the
shout out to B-Loves for becoming a member. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very much.
Option for this Chainlink product is real, introduced in July of this year, with early adopters including Avalanche, Ethereum, Optimism, Polygon, as well as Coinbase-backed Ethereum L2 network base, as well as DeFi lending protocols Aave and Synthetics. CCIP created a standard communication system between different, often incompatible blockchains.
My man Leo Lustig, appreciate you, buddy, for becoming for gifting 5 memberships, and Dan R becoming a VIP member. Dude, you guys are awesome. Let's see who got them real quick before we keep going. PowerMinds Crypto, Scotty, TGIG, Kirk, McClare. I messed that up really bad. McLight? I can't even say that. I'm sorry. I totally just butchered your name. I apologize. And Game with Smokey Dan. Man, that's awful. I can't say your last name.
Chains. Well, the journey continues. The news today is this. This week, there were 7 integrations of 4 Chainlink services across 5 different chains, including Arbitrum, BNB Chain, Ethereum, Optimism, and Polygon. The point is, the Chainlink ecosystem is growing. Solana news. Solana's largest DeFi protocol, Marinade, starts blocking UK users. And just to be specific, another way to say that would be Solana's largest decentralized finance protocol, Marinade Finance, has blocked users in the United Kingdom from accessing the site due to compliance concerns over the FCA regulations. So is something decentralized? Is it DeFi if the entity can block specific users? The landing page for users in the UK displays a warning message, although it states that users may withdraw liquidity, claim delayed tickets, or delay unstake via our SDK, meaning you are able to exit peacefully, get your money off, and leave. And why some Solana users are shook is because Marinade is responsible for most of the total value locked TVL on the Solana blockchain, with 248 million spread across native and liquid staking products. And the amount of assets across the entire Solana blockchain ecosystem stands at 350 million. So this is about 250 million out of the total 350 million. And
crazy. Shout out to Alltrack for being a member for 5 months. Congrats to the winners. Welcome to the club. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to be doing a hash rate giveaway for members only this afternoon as well. I'll do it after this, actually.
Many of you have also been asking, why is injective protocol pumping? Well, the numbers don't lie. Big numbers on the injective ecosystem, over 304 million plus transactions, over 13 billion plus cumulative volume, also a lot of INJ staked, and as of 20 hours ago, over 400 million in INJ is now staked, making Injective one of the largest L1 networks by staked value.
Oh, wow.
Fun fact, Injective is the first blockchain to offer automatic smart contract execution, which empower faster, more innovative, and groundbreaking applications. Whenever crypto projects are either pumping or tanking, you can come to this channel, subscribe, and learn daily as to why. Update in the ongoing SBF trial, actually as of last week. Leaked audio exposes Caroline Ellison giggling during an all-hands FTX meeting as she confesses to the team that they are short billions of dollars in customer funds.
Gathering the rest of our assets and trying to like kind of freeze up as much capital as we can is good. Because like kind of the more extra capital we have in Alameda, the more capital we can like throw into the deal to make it like more attractive to CD basically.
Can you say how big the hole is? Or like
I probably don't want to share the exact number,
exactly.
but it's
is it closer to like 1 bill or 6 bill?
Or the latter.
We have an idea of how likely it is that
crazy.
the deal with CZ will go through.
I don't really know. I said 70% earlier, my parents said 40%. If anyone else has estimates, take them. Yeah, I'm kind of like, I don't know. By default, I sort of like expect CZ to like behave very like, whatever, zero sum, just like try and fuck us over ways. So like, whatever, making us sign this deal, and then that's like whatever with an exclusivity clause. And then,
all right, who cares? Who cares about the FTX drama bullshit, Mr. Crypto KJ? Almost said UK Miners Club. Thanks for being a member for 5 months. Let's see. Said Neoxa is now listed on MEXC. Price is looking good today. All in on Neoxa, and then he puts the Casper logo, giving me shit for mixing up Dynex and Flux the other week. I hate you so much. You're the worst member I have. You know that? I'm just kidding. You're awesome. Appreciate you, buddy. So that's amazing, actually. Neoxa, I've been thinking hard about purchasing more. I almost did it last night in Trade Ogre for whatever reason. When did it become on MEXC? Was it just last night or yesterday? Because I noticed the price of it was going up, and I'm like, damn, I really want to get in on some more so I could stake it or create my own smart node. But it's like $2K to get more, like the rest that I need. I think it's like almost $3,000 for actually to have a smart node. But anyways, all right, let's get into this. By the way, Steven Cicero, if you have the link to Charlie Lynn's channel, did you already put it in here? Throw it in the chat if you have whatever you were trying to show me. And Mr. Kaiser, member for 3 months, started watching in September 2020. Dude, you're awesome. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, this is Crypto Zombie over here. K-Dub, he is in Dubai. He's going to talk about the charts and go over a few things. I think he does mention the SEC the interview on CNBC that we already saw. But, I mean, nonetheless, if you guys are just joining, feel free to smash that like button and obviously listen to this. Let's get into it.
What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Now, it is literally like 3 a.m. over in Dubai right now, and you can tell my voice is a little bit messed up from the traveling, from the weather, and the differences in the temperature. But guys, I couldn't sleep. I was having a look at the charts, and I had to bring you this update because Bitcoin has literally pumped over 30% actually in the last 48 hours. And on some exchanges, it even got as high as 36,000. Now, you know that we've been very, very bullish on Bitcoin, regardless of the ETF approval or not. We had that fake ETF sort of news that came out, price completely retraced, and now we're obviously putting in a much higher high. So I want to
If you guys don't know Crypto Zombie, full link is in the description below. Go check out his channel. He's awesome. But we were trying to figure out what this was behind him yesterday. This is the wall in the place he's in Dubai. Apparently, that's like a hotel wall or something, because I thought it was a bar behind him, but it clearly isn't.
This video short and sweet, guys. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit shot, but I had to get this update out to you because, man, I feel sorry for these bears right now. I'm going to go over everything that's going on right now, why we're actually seeing this pump. There is some news that came out, and it is pretty big, so we're going to dive into all that. It's going to be a super quick video. Like I said, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning over here, but I couldn't leave you guys hanging, so let's dive in. Let's have a look. So super quick, if we just come over here and have a look at CoinCat.
Look at that boner candle. That's crazy.
You could see that basically once we reclaimed this resistance right here as support, it was pretty much off to the races after that fake pump. We have more than blown this wick out of the water. And yes, we have had a little bit of a pullback. There is some volatility, but you can see right here, for example, over on CoinCatch, we got up to about 35,877. And on some exchanges like futures, we've actually already seen Bitcoin go up as high as actually $36,000. So the big thing, as I've been talking about for quite some time, is breaking this massive multi-year downtrend where we had this parallel channel holding us down here. And then
so this is the weekly chart for anybody that doesn't know. If you can see at the top, it shows like the W, right? It's blue. So each one of these candles are considered a week if you're not into charting. So that is a big deal that this just broke this downwards trend line.
First, we had all of these moving averages right here, which tried to hold us down. We had a 25% dip. And then you can see right here, we did get back above it, and we have, in fact, closed a daily candle above it. So
now, typically, right, this right here, you usually, like I was saying, we're probably going to have some sort of retrace in November, which wouldn't shock me. A couple candles out from this point. Usually, you come back down and retest the support line, right? Where it broke the trend, basically. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. We'll probably come down and see closer to, I don't know, 27, 28. But again, I'm not a trader, so take that with a grain of salt.
This is huge. This is definitely the first step in having that major reversal for Bitcoin. So what exactly is going on? Well, I'm going to get into the charts, obviously, but you can see, like Eric Belchunez pointed out over here, the iShares Bitcoin Trust has been listed on the DTCC, which clears NASDAQ trades, and the ticker will be IBTC. Again, all part of the process, bringing the ETF to the market. So this is obviously BlackRock, right? And you can see also that according to Scott Johnson, you can see that they've obtained a CUSIP in prep for a launch. So basically, what they're doing is called seeding. Now, he says, doesn't want to read into it too much. It's nothing too crazy, but essentially seeding right here, an ETF is when initial funding is provided, typically by a bank or broker dealer, used to purchase a few certain units, in this case Bitcoin, in exchange for ETF shares, which can be traded in open market on day one. He does go on to say that seeding is typically not a lot of money, just enough to get the ETF going. So obviously this isn't BlackRock necessarily that's pumping the market, but the market is in fact reacting to this news. Also, just to mention that we had a U.S. judge instructing the SEC to re-review the grayscale request for a spot Bitcoin ETF, and we are seeing massive pushback against the SEC. In fact, SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce was over on Squawk Box, and well, let me just play the clip and let you know what she had to say about the ETF approval.
If you guys just joined at the beginning of this video, we watched this entire interview, so scroll back if you want to watch it. I do have a link to it down in the description below as well.
The state of some of these regulations around crypto really stand right now. There's been so much speculation, even in the past several weeks, about where a Bitcoin ETF might land. There was a moment, as you I'm sure recall, where a report came out erroneously, apparently, that one would be approved. That would be the BlackRock one. But a view that, given some of the things that have happened in court recently with the SEC losing, that maybe the SEC is now more open to approving one of these types of funds. Is it?
Well, I can't say whether or not the commission is ready to approve a Bitcoin exchange traded product. I've been thinking we should approve one for the last 5 years. So the logic for why we haven't has always mystified me. The court case obviously is an important factor in the landscape, but I can't guess as to my colleagues' approach to this topic. I really can't.
Just like I have no idea why Gary Gensler sucks ass, but he won't listen to any of us.
Speak to what we're going to do on the Bitcoin exchange traded products. I can say that generally the agency has not been very good when it comes to anything related to Bitcoin or other crypto assets. And look, I hope that every day I hope that they'll wake up and they'll think, you know what, we need to take a more productive approach. That hasn't happened yet, but I'm of course hoping that it will.
And she also added that there was a lot of interest, particularly in this type of a product.
But I guess the question is, should the public take anything away from the fact that a BlackRock or a Fidelity or somebody of that size, scale, perhaps reputation, is applying for these things, that somehow is validating this space in a way that perhaps maybe some of the smaller firms that had applied for such types of funds earlier did not?
Well, I think it's a reflection of the fact that there are a lot of firms that think the public is interested in these kinds of products. Again, you know, people have to be careful about trying to read the tea leaves of what agencies are doing, and I'm not going to contribute to that. I'm just going to say that, you know, obviously we're seeing more and more interest from firms in these products, and I hear a lot of interest from investors in these kinds of products as well.
So hopping on
that goddamn fire alarm, I swear to God, I ran so fast out of the shower this morning when I heard that. Oh man, real quick, who said that in the chat? Let me see. Somebody said, Douglas said if she could say that louder for those in the back of the SEC. She said 5 years. 5 years. They should have approved this like 5 years ago. Crazy.
Over to the charts, you could see that over here. Remember, we were a little bit worried about pumping a little too hard over the weekend, but we actually got lucky and we did not, in fact, put in a CME futures gap, which completely explains why the price was able to continue to the upside over on futures. And also, the other thing quite interesting is we had this CME futures gap up here way back from May of 2022. And you could see that we actually attempted to close it. Now, we didn't quite get all the way up to the top of it, but this does just go to show you how these gaps do end up playing out over time. Now, if we come over here, another thing that I had mentioned was when we look at this super guppy, remember that when we come out of these bear markets, we tend to have this area of neutral. And then what happens is we flip into this area of sort of cyan color right here. And then that's usually followed by the green. And once you get that green, as you guys can see, you tend to stay in it for a very, very, very long time. Obviously, with this exception right here of the good old COVID crash where, you know, obviously that was a black swan event. But let's be honest, had that not happened, there would have been a very good chance that this would have probably just stayed all green in here, right? And it would have just connected like that. So if we come over here and have a look at what we're doing, guys. We're actually starting right here to flash on some of these EMEs into the light cyan. And
that's a big deal. That means the bull market is starting. Not, I guess, don't quote me, but this could be just the beginning of it.
Oh, that usually speaking, we do end up going into the green after that. And, you know, something that I try to explain to people is, you know, once these candles start moving, you can have quite parabolic runs. Now, do I believe that we're necessarily in the parabolic phase just yet? To be completely honest, no, I don't. And I don't mean to let anybody down. I just don't think we're in the parabolic phase just yet. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit more consolidation. However, you know, the fact that we had this signal flashing right here on the hash ribbons at about 24,879, based on the previous statistics and based on what we tend to do, there is a very good chance, in fact, there's around an 88% chance that we will not see Bitcoin go below those levels again, which means that, unfortunately for the bears, you're probably not going to get your $20,000, $12,000, $10,000 Bitcoin. If anything, you might get a retest back around, you know, the 25 to 24.8-esque area. But again, the one thing that we had spoke about was that Bitcoin had been forming this giant falling wedge pattern for years, right? And
shout out to my man Crypto Frank in the chat for the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. 1999. He said, remember, this is only in America. If BTC is pumping this much just because of something we did in America, imagine as it crosses the borders and more countries join the BTC train. I personally wouldn't look at this as short term. You're not wrong. You are not wrong, sir. Appreciate the 1999. You're amazing. Perfect. Thank you so much, buddy.
And patterns, you know, they don't always play out exact, but there is a higher probability of having a falling wedge breaking out to the upside, right? And even if we take it to the bump and run retest, right? So we're not even going to take the highest level. We're gonna actually go a little lower here. Take it from the retest. you could see that that still puts Bitcoin anywhere, between
That's
roughly
crazy.
47 and a high of around $53,638 target. And, a lot of people thought that we were crazy when we had pointed out this, price target. But as you can see, ever since we've had that breakout, look at this. We've done nothing but put in higher highs and higher lows, right? You can see right here, higher highs and higher lows. And of course, discussing the, obviously this EMA ribbon, we've never had the ribbon have a fake out invert to the downside and then move to the upside. And we were able to actually avoid that right here with this move. So, even if you think we do need to go back down to some of these levels, could we go back down to the 25.3 Terra Luna? Sure, it's possible. But, historically speaking, this tends to really hold generally once we get above it. The only time, we touch it a little bit here, sometimes we fall back into it. So, worst case scenario, if you think we need to go back into the bottom, well, the bottom of that range is around 27,300. And, if I zoom in right here, we don't actually have full 100% confirmation, but we're very, very, very close. I would say within a couple more weeks, we would have full on reversion, basically, of this. And, the other thing to point out is that we are above the 200 weekly, which has historically been, as you guys can see, it was the bottom back here. We closed above it for COVID. And it's been a really significant resistance / support.
Again,
so,
weekly chart, weekly candles. So obviously this is like, stretched out a year or so.
Again, all of these levels are starting to coincide with each other. Now, the one thing in which why you could argue that Bitcoin could be potentially getting slightly overheated is just simply because we're retesting this bottom range of the support of this major sort of year and a half bottom, right? And we do know that when you have this much support and you attempt to come back into it, it acts as resistance. Now, every single time we've come into this box, we've creeped up a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, right? But you can see right here, after this, this pretty much shows you that Bitcoin could really move up really fast to about the 41,000 area, which is kind of why I'm not sure if that will happen. It is a lot of exuberance, and if you do have a look at what's going on, it's not necessarily new money that's really coming into Bitcoin. It's been a lot of the altcoins shifting in to Bitcoin, so it's more of reshuffling of the funds. But, again, just talking about that momentum, talking about the money flow specifically into Bitcoin, we obviously have a much higher, trigger wave on the downside, having this money flow move to the upside versus this smaller wave. So, and again, I want to just point out, guys, that at some point we are going to have a pullback, and you can kind of see right here.
Like I said, I'm expecting a pullback towards like Black Friday-ish. Usually end of November, beginning of December is usually when we see some sort of pullback, and then it kind of just goes stagnant. I mean, that's just, from my opinion, in the last couple of years, what we've seen.
We may be forming some form of a wave, but the question is how high does this wave go? You can kind of see it looks like it's looking to go a little bit vertical. So if that's the case, then then we may completely invalidate this and have a lower wave. And honestly, we may just keep continuing to the upside. So we definitely have to see. But ultimately, what is driving this? Well, of course, you do have the technicals, but like Will Clemente points out, rumors of SEC communicating with potential Bitcoin ETF issuers, issuers update filings. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF listed on the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. Judge orders SEC to revisit Grayscale spot ETF filing. The signs are all there. It's coming. Now, of course, as I have been telling you guys, I don't necessarily think that we are at that parabolic stage just yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did have somewhat of a correction at some point, a little bit of sideways, retest some of those key levels. We usually don't tend to have those parabolic runs until after the halving, right? But maybe this time is different. So just want
No, he's right? So we do have, again, the halvings coming up in the next, I don't know, what, 4 months or so, right? So halving beginning of next year. Actually, it's like 4 or 6 months. Let me see. Bitcoin halving. Let's just Google it. When is it? Is it in April? Let's see. Block countdown, 183 days. When is it? What is this? This is the worst calculator ever. What is happening? Let me see. Bitcoin, let me see. Bitcoin halving countdown. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Nice hack one. All right, we have, let's see, April 24th. Okay, that's what I thought, in April. So again, Bitcoin halving in April, right? That is most likely going to be buy the rumor, sell the news event again, right? So I think personally, this right now is buy the rumor, sell the news. As soon as the spot Bitcoin ETF comes out, most likely end of this month, beginning of next month, we're going to see it spike up again, and then it's going to slowly dip down through December to the halving, and then after the halving start going up, or just before the halving again, buy the rumor, sell the news, and then we're going to have to wait until it actually takes off. Yes, halvening. Halvening. How you say it? I just say halving because it makes more sense. All right. Anyways, guys, you're all awesome. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Again, the charts look absolutely fantastic. Bitcoin 34.5, Ethereum 18.36. Guys, don't forget, like, when things are stupid green, it's not the best time to buy. Just kind of hold in, or maybe sell a little when it goes up a little bit more, or right around now, and see what happens. Just don't put in more than you can afford to lose. You know, that's kind of one of those things. Just take that with a grain of salt. But anyways, guys, I appreciate all of you for hanging out. Thank you for all the gifted memberships and the super chat, Crypto Frank and everybody else. Appreciate you guys. Have a good Tuesday. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning, 8:15 or so Eastern Standard Time. Peace out.